Alright guys, we are going for week 1 of our trainer video. So today we're going to look at lunges. Okay, so Rob here is going to be my demonstrator, and we're going to just go over 3 basic, well not really basic, but 3 different variations of the lunge, starting with a very remedial lunge and moving up to something a little more challenging. So the first lunge we're going to do today is the TRX reverse lunge. The reason why I like to do the reverse lunge on the TRX for the first clients when they first come in is it helps them feel a little more stable doing the lunge. You have the handles to hold on to, so if you get down too deep, you can help yourself back up. And a lot of times with lunges, that's one of the problems, is people get scared and they don't feel comfortable doing the lunges and going down nice and deep. So with the reverse lunges, Rob is going to stand close to the straps, so there's just a little bit of slack in the straps, with his elbows at his sides and his hands up at 90 degrees, his arms up at 90 degrees. So back up just a little bit for me, Rob. Good. Now from there, he's going to take a decent sized step backwards, okay, landing on his toe. From there, he's going to drop straight down, okay? One of the biggest issues, come on up, Rob, one of the biggest issues that people have with lunges is that they think that they have to lunge, so they have to lean back or lean forward, whichever way it is. It puts a lot of stress on the joints. So all really it is it's really just a split squat, like Rob likes to call them a lot of times. So he's going to step back, take that medium-sized step back, and he's going to drop straight up and down. I always tell people to imagine that there is a line in their head, and they're just following with that string. So come on up, Rob. Good. And then you have him do it on the other side. Reverse lunge, and go. So as you can see, as he steps back, his arms extend just a little bit. He's keeping his head and chest up nice and tall, so that he keeps nice posture. And it allows him, so if he gets too deep, he can use his arms to help him come back up. Okay? So some of the cues, one of the main cues I look for when I'm doing lunges, especially on first-time lungers, is the placement of their knee relative to their foot. Okay? So it's not so much that it's going out or over its foot, it's where the knee is aligned with the foot. Is the center of the knee, the center of Rob's knee, aligned with the center of his foot? If it's too far in, he's going to develop a lot of knee problems if he does a lot of lunges. If it's too far out, he's just going to be way off balance. If it's right perfect, center of the knee aligned with the center of the foot, he's going to get good glute activation in that lunge. So come on, back up, Rob. Good. Alright, so that is the first lunge that we're looking at. The next lunge we're going to do, step off camera real quick, is just a basic forward lunge. So this will be my next step up in the lunge progression, is just a forward lunge. So again, he's going to take a medium-sized step forward, get right over top with the middle of his body, drop down, and step back up. Good. So alternate feet, do the same thing. Up and back. One of the biggest things that you see with people on this one is that they land on the ball of their foot and they stay on the ball of their foot. So Rob, go ahead and do that. There you go. And they get up on their heel if you can't see that. Rob, go ahead and turn to the side so they can see you do that. Step forward, and they're all the way up on the toe, the ball of their foot, and that causes a lot of instability, a lot of joint issues, things like that. So my biggest thing with that exercise is that I tell them to land on their heel. So stick that heel up, point the toe up towards the ceiling, and actually land on the heel. Alright, I want the weight driven through the back half of the foot, not the front half of the foot. And a lot of times I even tell people just to wiggle their toes as they're doing it. That way that they're making sure they're picking that toe up off the ground. Alright, so that's the next lunge. The other problem that you see in that is that when they do come forward up on that toe, and this happens a lot on that toe, they lunge forward with their body goes forward, and that's why I always get scared when we call it a lunge, and then they push it back off. So that's why a lot of times we'll just go ahead and call it a split squat. Once they get a little better into lunges and know what's going on, then we just call them lunges. Okay? And the final one we're going to do is a bit of a balanced hover lunge. So Rob's going to do a reverse lunge, touch the toe down just a little bit in the back, and then he's going to drive his back knee forward, driving it up, trying to use as much of the engaged leg as possible, as little as this leg to push up as he can. So he's going to reach back and drive forward. Reach back and drive forward. It's close to doing a single leg squat, so kind of a variation below a single leg squat. And it allows the client to really focus on that forward engaged leg and not cheat by pushing off of that back leg very much. Alright, Rob, you can relax. So I love doing lunges. I love doing lunges because there's so many different variations. You know, like we actually had a discussion about which 3 we were going to show here, because there's so many different ones, there's so many different styles, there's so many different imagination possibilities. So you can do so many different things with the lunge that, you know, squats, there's only a couple different variations of a squat, a 2-legged squat or a single leg squat. But lunges, you can go in all different angles. It forces you to work one leg at a time, as we were just really focusing on with Rob right there, as opposed to 2 legs and 1 leg taking over doing all the work. And it can really help with rehabilitation and things like that of the leg, because it can help one leg catch up to the other if there's been a surgery or something like that. Speaking of rehabilitation, if a client has chronic knee pain or just comes off a surgery or something like that, you might want to avoid doing the lunges for a while until they get build up strength in the legs. I think that's it. Got anything to add?
Good to go.
First time we talked all day, folks. God, I hope I was